A guy you just saw recently, Dave, Joey Badass. Finally dropping that album. I guess he got that sample cleared, huh?
That's right. Joey Badass's third album, 2000, has finally come out about, gosh, what is it, 4 weeks, 5 weeks since the original date, which
Something like that.
conspicuously was the date that Drake last minute claimed for Honestly Nevermind. He says it was sample issues. He said it wasn't Drake when I saw him live on the 1999 2000 tour recently. Regardless, we waited 5 years. We can wait a few more weeks. And
True.
we did. And Joey makes that point right away on track one, the baddest. I can take 5 years off because my shit is timeless. Quite the boast. But I think the fans will be showing up for this one regardless. And a lot of anticipation for it, for not just that length of wait, which is pretty atypical for rappers in their prime, but also because of the direct connection to his debut critically acclaimed mixtape 1999, which came out 10 years ago. You're positioning this comeback album as the direct sequel to your most celebrated music, putting a lot of hype and pressure on yourself to your fans. And, I think it's an interesting album that I like a lot of things about, but doesn't quite have the banger characteristics, the takeaway thumpers that I've had from all the other Joey albums, one way or another. I think it's much more into that storytelling bars Joey that 1999 was honestly most famous for. So I guess in that sense, it makes sense as a follow up, but none of these songs at this point have entered into my favorite Joey songs. And I just saw all those favorite Joey songs live at his show. Be curious to see what songs he takes out of that set list to add in songs from 2000 that are brand new, obviously, TBD. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because he's also still not that young, that old. He's 27, 5 year break, and he's still only 27. Again, he came up when he was so young, so he can afford to take time and do his thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I think this is a incredibly smooth album. I think there's a lot of like you said, really great storytelling on this. Like a song like Eulogy really stands out to me as like one of his like best storytelling moments. I think there's a couple moments that I just found to be total duds. I think the last one, Written in the Stars,
Mm.
not so great, especially after Survivor's Guilt, which
Yeah,
is another one of those great storytelling and
yeah,
just like Joey totally taking you on a journey type song. So it felt like you maybe should have, I don't know, just ended after that in a sense.
right.
But I was still really enjoying the experience with this. It felt like a callback to like some of his like hip hop roots or what initially made him
Yeah,
fall in love and want to do this. So I appreciate the love letter, I guess. But I agree. I don't think there's any like clear bangers on this.
right. Yeah, I mean, to that point, Static Selecta is all over this. Static Selecta really helped
Mhm.
shape the sound of early Joey Badass. Also, was his first tour DJ. So you got a lot of static beats here. I think at times those work really great. In the beginning, you have Make Me Feel. Those kick drums really stand out. But just in general, Static Selecta is one of the most prominent active producers that can bring you that like throwback dusty boom bap. But the transition between Make Me Feel into Where I Belong, I think is really seamless and done really well.
Mm,
And Where I Belong is probably my favorite of those like style of songs on this. And there's a few. Um, Survivor's Guilt, though, I think is from a storytelling perspective the clear highlight, and kind of foolishly, like you said, he follows it up with another song where it's like you just can't make that impact again. But Survivor's Guilt is like a really somber, very sad story
mhm.
about Capital Steez, which he hasn't really made a song about in some time. Of course, Steez killed himself 10 years ago. Steez, the founder of Joey Badass. And then next thing you know, Steez is gone and Joey's the leader of Pro Era. It's quite the storied history, and that Steve's posthumous album never did come out, but there's still obviously nods and love for him all over the place from everyone Beast Coast for the most part. So that song though, it feels like quite the coda, I think, for Joey regarding Steez, and kind of need to happen because if you're gonna make the follow up to 1999, you kind of have to acknowledge one of these big pieces of early Joey's career that
Mhm.
is hasn't been with him for such a long time at this point. So yeah, I think that not a song I necessarily want to run back due to just the you know
Heaviness of the content.
downer nature of it by design, but it's quite well done, and I think it's definitely probably a song that he was felt really fulfilled in making too, given where he's been
Mhm.
at for so long.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was important for him to talk about, but not a song you probably find yourself going back to a whole lot. A song that I really liked a lot, at least in terms of just like the energy of it, is kind of comes right after two of the ones you talked about, which is brand new 911. That
Mhm.
like jazzy hip hop feel that he brings to it, and just like his playfulness on the track were really like I think what drew me in, and he just glides over that dude. He's so smooth on that track. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool too because you have West Side Gun, obviously the
Yeah,
guest there, all the boo boo boos,
yeah.
Griselda, but also a sequel song in a sense because Joey had a very celebrated feature a few years back on the West Side Gun album, the song 327 with those two and Tyler. So cool to see Joey bring Gun back here. Um, Larry June, I thought made a nice impression on One of Us,
Mhm.
perhaps even stealing the song. The Jid song, Wanna Be Loved, Joey's rapping there, then Jid's rapping there. They both sound fine, but that's another song that, like, if they made a banger together, it would be so crazy.
Yeah.
But that's just
Yeah,
not the kind of song it was.
I was when I saw Jid on the track, I was hoping it'd be a little bit more like want to run that back, but definitely didn't catch me. But I definitely think they both do a great job asserting
Yeah.
themselves as great rappers in it. What'd you think of Welcome Back with Chris Brown and Capella Gray?
Yeah, kind of weird that Chris Brown's even there because
Yeah.
Capella Gray could have done all that. Capella Gray's opening up for Joey right now in the 1999 2000 tour. Don't know why Chris Brown's there. I wonder if that was a Columbia Records requirement. Who knows? But I don't know. It's just kind of weird because, like, I think it's either that song or the song or the song after "Show Me." I forget. But like Joey, I don't know. Joey kind of gives you some misogyny in those like sex lyrics
Mm,
quite quickly, and I don't need to hear that next to Chris Brown, who we don't have to
yeah.
get into. It's like I don't know. That stuff's kind of a miss, and Joey is a bit prone to kind of saying off color things online and stuff like that. So maybe he just genuinely wanted to work with Chris Brown. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Those weren't too good. I think in terms of like non traditional rapidy ass songs, there's no devastated here. There's no like blatant like melodic, more pop rap styled song here.
Mhm.
We don't have one of those. You do have Cruise Control though, which I think is like the closest to something like that because Joey does sing the hook on there. Mike will kind of bring you a beat that's not like a static selected beat. And then one of the more memorable outros on this list, you have Nas talking about Joey. Of course, the album starts off with Diddy
Mhm.
talking about Joey, bringing back Who Shot You as we proceed to give you what you need. I did in general, I did kind of enjoy a lot of these outros, especially the one on Survivor's Guilt where someone was talking about meeting Steez for the first time. But yeah, I mean, he got Nas and Diddy to
Yeah.
like genuinely like talk about him in a positive light.
Great look. Great look. You're a big Joey fan. Obviously, you went and saw him live. Would you say that you're uh, satisfied with this album? Disappointed? Like, where are you at?
Yeah, it's tough, man, because he makes such amazing bangers 10 years going, and I just like some people, then some of the real 1999 hits, listen to Illuminati and Hard Knock all the time. I'm not necessarily one of those guys. I like listening to Survival Tactics all the time, which shout out Steez. It's like fucking bangers. And lest we forget, when I saw him live, Survival Tactics got the biggest pop of all the 1990 songs he played. I don't know if any of these songs are gonna make people pop. You know,
Yeah.
Where I Belong, people were bobbing their heads when he played it. The day it came out, which happened to be the day I saw him, and I think some of these songs will get there too. But like, there's no paper trails on this. There's no Christ conscious on this. So it's not what he's going for, clearly, and that's okay. But like for me, it's just not exactly what I would have wanted.
Yeah, I definitely was not expecting this to be what we got, but I think even when he's not delivering those bangers, he's still delivering quality, which is a sign of a great artist. So,
Yeah.
shout out to Joey. I think definitely give it a listen.